Hey friends, it's Shanda Kim, the Realtor Who Cares. So today I want to talk real quick about all my first-time home buyers and my home buyers in general out there. I know some of you are stressed. I get it. I've been where you are, literally. You're scared, you're confused, or maybe all three at the same time. Trust me, I get it. I totally get it. I was a single mom when I bought this home and I was stressed out because I had a realtor who didn't answer my questions. I had to keep going to my mortgage loan officer in order to get my questions answered. And I became a realtor, so I didn't have to see anybody else go through that, because when I bought my house, I had 3 kids in school, I was working 3 jobs and in grad school. So I was under a lot of stress, and I never want to see anybody go through it again. It was horrible. So like when I say I've been right where you are, I have been. I have been on the real estate side and I have been on the buyer side. And I want to make it as streamlined and easy as possible. So when I was figuring things out day by day, making phone calls, not getting answers, having to call somebody else to get the answers I needed, I realized it was not easy. It was extremely stressful. I was scared too. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna get my home? You know, I just put all this money down too, and like, what's going on? Like, am I going to get some paperwork? Am I going to get some answers from you? And the realtor could have said, oh, I'll get back to you. Oh, I'll get back to you. That was the answer I got when he answered me. And I didn't know what I was doing half the time. I was trying to research. I was asking questions, asking people what I needed, but I made it through. And you can too. And I am here to help. Because like I said, when you have a friend in your corner and somebody who cares, life is a lot easier. Now, before we go on, I want to say that we don't hear everything about the mortgage side of it until you've got your paperwork in and everything you need to get done. And then they reach out to us and say, okay, yes, we're in the pre-approval process. I've got everything in. I'm working on it. If you don't get everything in, we're not going to hear anything because you haven't got everything you need to get into them so they can interact with us. Because they can't give us any answers or anything that we can give the other realtor who's selling the property, because they're going to want answers to some of this too. So it kind of falls in everybody's court. I am very particular on the way things are organized. I like everything cut and dry. I'm the kind of person, if I'm not 10 minutes early, I feel like I'm late. If I don't have everything ready to go, I feel in chaos. So I'm a very organized person. So before we go on, tell me in the comments, what is the number one thing stressing you out about buying a home right now? Money, credit, interest rates, not knowing where to start? So yes, interest rates today feel higher than the crazy low we had a few years ago, which sent everybody into buy spins, which homes are going 30, 40, 50,000 above asking. And people are actually paying more now because of those interest rates, because they went so far over asking than they would currently with the interest rates we have. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of crazy, right? People see the interest rate and they're terrified. But it also, when we saw the 2 to 3% interest rate, people were stressed out. Realtors were stressed out. We were putting 14, 15, 16 offers in and finally getting a house. Some people were giving up because they were like, I can't do this anymore. The stress is too much. And it was a seller's market. It was crazy. It was stressful all the way around. But right now, it's a lot less stressful. Houses are on the market longer. And people are able to get into the home they want 99% of the time. Yes, the interest rate is higher and it feels like, ugh, why now? When I'm ready to buy, why? But people bought homes when rates were 10, 12, and even 18% years ago. Think about that. We're not even close to those, and those were the average. Those were the norm. And guess what? They still built wealth. They still gained equity, and they still won. But people got so mindset and fixed on the 2 and 3% that they're afraid to go any other way. And everything terrifies them. You can do this, but you got to put your mindset in the right place. So the belief I want to break down to you is this. I can't buy a home because interest rates are too high. No. I don't want to break. No. I want to break it, spread it apart, make it just no. The truth is, you marry the house, you date the rate. I know you've heard it a lot, and a lot of people say that, but you find the home you love, and right now it's at 6. It may go up, may go down. If it goes up, you're good, you're locked. You know you have this. If it goes down, then you refinance, which makes life a lot less stressful. You will always refinance later when rates drop again. And they will. They usually do. They always have a little, what are we going to call it? Roller coaster effect. I have noticed this in my years of real estate. And it's funny because when people can't get the house at the rate they want and they give it up, and then a few years later the rate they want is there and they give up the house because of the rate, I've seen so many people kick themselves. Like, just be like, why? Why didn't I think like this? And that's why a lot of people say that I don't like the saying, you marry the house, you date the rate. But in a lot of ways, it's true. Unless you get it at a low rate and you're lucky. But then they dated that rate, and now they're paying more than they would at a 6%. Think about that, because you're paying on so many tens of thousands of dollars more than you would have paid at the 6% rate. And a lot of people got in a house they really didn't want, but it's the only one they could get. So that's kind of sad. Now let's talk about renting versus owning. A lot of people right now, if you're renting, you're basically paying someone else's mortgage. You're helping their wealth grow, not yours. If you can find a rental that's reasonable, that they take care of, you're lucky. A lot of landlords get these beater homes, do a little Band-Aid work, and rent it for high prices, so they're making 3 times or whatever. I personally am looking into being a landlord, but I want homes that people can be safe in. I'm very particular as to what I'm doing, and I want things to be kept up properly. So I am trying to make sure I do it all the right way. That's why I haven't just jumped into it. Now, when you own your home, your payment builds your equity. That's money you keep. That's money that is yours. Your home value can go up over time. You have to maintain it. You have to take care of it. Like you see my home, I maintain it. I take care of it. I put in new windows when needed, except for this one. This is my favorite. It's a beveled glass, original window, 1901 Victorian farmhouse. I love my house. I have the doors, pocket doors, and all that between rooms. Now, you have stability when you own your home. No landlord telling you when to move. No landlord telling you can't have a dog, a cat, a fish. You can't have too many plants. You can't have anything in the yard unless you have an HOA, which I would never go under an HOA. Just for that reason, because I think it's unfair. They tell you, oh, you like to have this in your garden, but you can't because it's against our standard. That's something I will never do. You can paint the walls whatever color you want. Pink, purple, SpongeBob SquarePants, maybe superheroes. It's up to you, because guess what? That's your house. It's not someone else's house that you're renting. It's your home. You're making your home. Your place to go, your place of refuge, your place to relax. I love it because I come home, I grab my hot tea, my coffee, whatever it is, and I just sit here and I'm like, oh, I let all the stress of the day go away. Yeah, once in a while I walk into an obstacle, like the other day when I walked into a flood in my kitchen because my turnoff underneath my sink busted, and that was a fun cleanup, but I know how to do it. Easy fix. It's fixed. It's great. I don't have an issue now. I did it myself, and I spent a whopping $13. Ooh, yeah, and that person. I'm a do-it-yourselfer. So when you think of it like this, renting is like pouring water on someone else's plant. pouring it into their cup, not yours. Owning is like finally pouring it into your own, and then you get a good cup of coffee. Yeah. All right, now, I want to, trying to think of how to put this. I want to be real with you. I was scared. You all know that. I was a single mom and wondering if I was good enough to be able to own my own home or be a homeowner. I researched like crazy. I made sure I could afford it. I did the budget. I did all that, which I'm also a financing broker too. So I do a lot of budgeting with people. I do a lot of small business loans and stuff like that and help people fix their credit. And I thought my credit wasn't perfect. I thought I needed a bunch of money, and I thought it wasn't for people like me. I had come out of an abusive situation where my self-esteem was torn down, self-doubt was there, and then I realized I helped him get a house. So why can't I do that for me? I did all the footwork. I did all the paperwork. I helped with all the money. I budgeted everything, and he got the profit. Why wasn't it my turn? And I'm like, I've raised these kids. I've worked hard. So it was a lie I was telling myself. And if you're telling yourself the same thing, I'm here to tell you this. You deserve a home. You can do this, and you don't have to figure it out alone. So let's crunch some big objectives under our feet right now. If you're saying I don't make enough money, there are programs out there for that. Let me show you what you actually qualify for. And I have funding brokers to help me with that part as well, that do mortgages. If you're saying, oh, my credit isn't perfect, guess what? Most people's aren't. And there are still options to move forward. Now, I don't know what I'm doing. That's why you have me. I walk you through every step, and I don't judge ever. You can ask any of my clients I've worked with. I really try to find what's best for you, and I'm going to ask you 60 million questions, but in the end, you're going to get what you need. Now you say, I'm scared. Totally normal. Me too. Oh, I get scared all the time. But with that being said, I'll hold your hand through the whole thing. I'll walk you through it, through the paperwork, through what it is. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Now, if this is something you want, but you just don't know where to start, message me today, not tomorrow, not someday, because you never know. By the end of the year, you may be moving into your new house at the end of the month. You may be signing, getting ready to start the process of buying the home. With that being said, get a pre-approval from a mortgage officer, because without that, you cannot make an offer on a home. Pre-qualifications, they don't hold up. They aren't anything that have your credit ran, your work history verified, anything else. People will not accept them. So if they tell you, oh, you're pre-qualified, honey, you're not going to get a house because you need a pre-approval. That's why you need to do your paperwork. So send me a message that says ready, and I'll show you the first step. Simple, pressure-free, at your pace. Because buying your first home or your next home or your final home, your timely, get rid of the kids, smaller house, I want this to feel like you've got this. It shouldn't feel like a scary math test. It should feel like a new beginning. That's where Grand Abuse comes in, and me, Shenda Kim. And I'm here to talk with you. I'm here to answer it and help you figure it out. I hope you have an amazing day.